Welcome, everybody, once again to Vodka and Juice Boxes. The play date where these young moms, well, the only thing they're spilling is their secrets. So sit back, grab a cocktail, and enjoy today's confession session with your sister hosts, the Sisterhood of Young Moms, Amanda and Juliet. Hey, girls.
Hey, Paul.
Hi.
Thank you so much again for your amazing intro.
Is this like the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants or something? No, that was another movie.
Paul.
I haven't even seen that.
I'm dating myself
Paul,
here.
just leave it. All right. Thank you again, Paul.
And in fact, when I
Welcome.
was younger, I used to date
Paul,
myself a
you
lot,
are
but
gonna
that's okay.
get a timeout. Okay? So, got it. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We're here in the studio again with my sister, Amanda, mom of two girls, me, Juliet, mom of two boys, and our very special guest, Joey, mom of four. How boys, girls, what do you got?
I'm going from a 15-year-old learning to drive
Oh my God.
to a kindergartner.
Oh my
so
gosh.
three boys, and the baby's a girl.
Oh, wow.
Biggest surprise. Cried my eyes out. Probably for 9 months.
Oh,
Came
I
out,
remember.
Came out screaming, crying. For about, I would say, 8 weeks.
wow. Aww.
It's a lot. It's a lot of a big household.
But now she's still attached.
Aww.
Yeah, now it's her best friend, though.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
And we love her. She's
She's-
amazing.
Oh, yeah. You know Juju.
yeah. She's one of
Oh,
my
yeah, you're the one
favorite.
that left her at the party.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's my
She's a really good, yeah,
favorite.
she's easy.
I'll take her any day. Well, awesome. Everybody, I hope you either got your cocktails or you're sneaking one under your desk while you're listening to us.
I'm all,
on-
yeah, get fired.
Yeah, Amanda.
Just kidding.
Hey, you know.
What's the
tell us-
cocktail today?
Yeah, tell us what the cocktail is, Amanda.
Okay, I found Laughing Glass at Whole Foods. It's an all-natural margarita. It says low calorie.
Can I stop you? Not laughing gas, but laughing glass.
Thank you, Paul. Paul, sit in your little corner now. Stop it.
I'm just trying to help.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so it's got a agave. It doesn't. You can taste tequila, which is cool for me. It doesn't taste like a plastic bottle like all the other
Right.
fake pre-margarita mixes. I recommend it.
And
It's
what
good.
what else did you do to
I
it?
topped it off. So it's all in one. You don't need to add anything to it. I like a little bubbles in my drink, so I added the LaCroix grapefruit. Sorry, I'm all trying to read it in Spanish. I'm all pamplemouimos.
Don't try, sister.
Yeah.
What,
Is
what
that
did you bring it
Spanish? That
with?
is Spanish,
Oh
right?
my
Did I
gosh,
just-
don't even try.
I know.
I'm gonna call you out.
I'm gonna sound ridiculous.
What is
They're like,
this?
that's French.
It's all liquid. What's that?
Oh no, this. Okay,
that.
so I sugared the rim with the lemon sugar that I found at Bevmo.
Perfect. Well, cheers, everybody. Joey, thank you so much for coming all the way down here to.
Yes, an IE mom.
There you go. That's
This was
a
an hour and a
far
half
drive.
truck.
Oh my gosh.
How is
Cheers.
it? How is it? Tell us how it is.
It's really good.
It's
If you're not
smooth.
sick, you can try it.
Yeah, it's smooth. It's not super sweet. Most margarita mixes like totally give me headaches. Like the instant I have one. So this is actually very nice and subtle.
Yeah.
It's refreshing. All right. Well, today's show is Screen Time, Me Time. There's a lot of controversy on whether or not parents should be showing their screens, iPads, TVs, to phones to their kids. An article that just recently came out, it's on our Facebook if you want to read all of it. We're just going to give a quick snippet so then we can talk about how this pertains to our life and what we're doing wrong or what we don't really care, actually. It's
don't
just
care.
what works for your family. So
I agree.
real quick, they say that for children under 18 months, avoid the use of screen media at all, except for like FaceTime. So that's interesting. We'll definitely touch on that. For children 2 to 5 years old, limit the screen use to 1 hour per day with high quality programs. They like to say PBS, and make sure that you're watching it with them. For children,
Not gonna happen.
Yeah, I can't handle that stuff. For children 6 and older, place consistent limits on the time spent using media. And designate media-free times together, such as dinner or driving or, play dates and stuff like that. So definitely some interesting and helpful recommendations. So we're just going to dive right in about what we do in our family. And, yeah, Amanda, what do you have to say about that?
Okay, so I mean, I definitely failed most of that. So I was a new mom, with the first one. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but we had this little that Juliet bought us a kid phone case. It was like a circle. And Juliet gave us her husband's old phone, and it had movies on it. So I would say ever since a year on and up.
Ever since she could actually hold it.
I would think a year. I don't remember though, so you should probably trust Juliet more than me. But
It was Hotel Transylvania. Just gonna say
it was her favorite movie.
like-
She would watch that movie every single day, which is really cool. That
a
it's that instead
fail-safe.
of like.
It's a good one to watch.
Yeah.
I can sit through that one.
I mean,
Yeah.
well, as long as it's not fucking Caillou.
Well, and anybody that knows Bowie, who can have some fun meltdowns. The moment, even from like day one, the moment that movie went on, she was like,
She would sit down and watch the whole thing.
Yeah,
she would
it
watch
was
the
amazing.
entire movie. Like we would watch it like
It was
every
our
day.
go-to. We're like, oh,
which
we
is
got
really
this in our
cool.
back pocket.
Yeah, so I would have that, but okay, so here's the thing. I think all parents they channel all their energy into the things that matter to them most. For Brian and I, we wanted to make sure that we could take our kids to a restaurant. We wanted to make sure that we could take them out and they were entertained. So I talked about this before. We packed a backpack, with toys ever since 1 year old, and then we would have the phone. But I would always use the phone as the last resort because I noticed that it once they got over the phone, then you're on bot time from that point on. So we started the toys thing. So I would bring stuff for her to color with. I would bring snacks, and then I would give the phone as the last resort. So we could be out 2 hours if we wanted to, 3 hours if I've had her out. So I was always a big fan of stuff like that. And
So with Bowie, it wasn't just the Hotel Transylvania. One thing that I hated was the Elmo. Elmo, and Bowie would listen to
liked
that
Elmo.
all the time.
she'd go to Juliet's house, and Juliet would be like, I'm not
Oh my
buying
gosh.
Elmo, because she had Apple TV. She's like, I'm not doing it. It's terrible.
But then I would, and I'm going to tell you, I feel like I've done Ezekiel a disservice by not showing him Elmo, because now my kid's in like speech therapy, and I feel like it's all Elmo's fault. Just kidding, because I didn't give him Elmo. Bowie watched Elmo all the time, and she was talking by two. Is
Juliet
that right?
But that's a girl.
Specifically-
That's a girl.
Dang
it
it.
has nothing to
See.
do
Just
with
trying
that.
to pinpoint it on something.
No. I think girls are just more mature. They learn. They speak. Boys take a long
I hear it more than
time.
anything.
Yeah.
Well, for having 3 boys and then having my daughter, I thought she was a genius. I thought, oh
Right.
my God, she's gonna write a book by
Wow.
7.
Okay.
She's amazing. It's a girl. I mean,
true.
Well,
everything
that's
came
validating
easy.
coming from Joe.
Yeah, no, definitely.
That-
3 in a row,
But one thing that's crazy is I know that Amanda and mostly, is I don't have time to sit down and be like, this is a red truck.
No,
and so
I didn't do that. I worked with her on numbers and the alphabet, like a little bit.
Yeah.
But Bowie knew her numbers, letters,
But that
shapes,
she learned that from
colored,
Mickey Mouse
animals.
Club and
She,
Yeah,
she learned it all from
Elmo.
the apps. She
Apps.
learned it all from apps on the iPad. She learned the first things that I would download was the Peekaboo Barn, and then
The
my
best.
first numbers, my first letters, like stuff like that. She knew everything before she was 2 years old.
And
Yeah,
she knew
but
how to
now
navigate.
she's gonna go to kindergarten
Right.
and do what?
She's
gonna be
kindergarten ready.
bored.
No,
She's gonna be.
it's true. She's
she's gonna be
kindergarten
bored.
ready, and she's
People
has
push
to.
so much academics so early.
I didn't try to, but I do believe with that.
No, they
I
put
do
like,
believe
oh,
that.
my kid reads, my
Right,
kid
right,
does this.
right.
I'm like, bet.
What are they gonna do with
What are
it?
you gonna do? That's
Yeah.
great. I mean, they're gonna learn to read.
Right.
But why push it so much? Push the social skills.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Push the looking
I
in
agree.
the eye.
I totally
push
agree.
Yes.
and being a waitress for a long time
Uh-huh.
in the restaurants, watching kids on their iPads or
Mm-hmm.
phones or whatever drove me insane. They can download an app.
Mm-hmm.
They can do anything on the iPad. Search the web,
And it's
get
all
onto
solo.
YouTube, but they can't look a
They
waitress.
don't have one-on-one.
But they can't look a
interaction.
waitress in the eye and
Mm-hmm.
order their own.
Well, what would you
Lemonade?
do then? Like, how would you deal
No,
with
I
that?
just always went to the kid. I hated when parents ordered for a 5-year-old
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
or they let their kids sit down and not look up.
Yeah.
I think that's what's ruining kids.
It's the fact that
Right.
your kid's rude
Oh.
as shit. Really.
Yeah, and
Because-
I think that's a great point to step on because I know with Amanda and I, if someone's talking to our kids, we're like, look at them. Stop what you're
do.
doing.
I
We're
do.
very firm
Especially
about
People
that.
make
waitress, I
excuses for
do.
their kids.
No.
People make excuses.
Like what?
Yeah, like
No, just like, oh, he's tired or he's shy
Oh,
or
of
he's
course.
No, he's
I hear it all
rude.
the time.
He's being rude.
Yeah.
I hear it all the time
Yes.
because
He's shy. Yeah.
Bowie's overly.
You
like
gotta
we talked
teach
about
that.
this.
yes,
Bowie's
exactly.
overly friendly, and she'll go up to kids all the time and be like, and listen, like I know my kid's like in everyone's space and it's intimidating, but like Bowie will go up to people and she'll be like, hi, I like your dress, or hi, like any little girl, she'll go straight up to them, and most little kids like they really, I'm gonna say 90% of them don't respond, and for me, which I get, like Bowie went through a whole phase where she was an asshole, and people would be like, oh my god, she's so, and then Bowie would turn her head and be like do some weird grunting noise, and I would have to be like the owner of the unfriendly dog at
Right.
the park and be like, don't bother, she's not friendly, like, but for when someone was talking to Bowie, I would say like they're talking to you. answer. But
Right.
I don't feel I just don't see a lot of that when Bowie's trying to make friends. Like people don't say like
Right.
you know. So yeah, I know
That's
I
definitely
know
a
what you're
standard we
saying.
have in our household. That if someone's
Yeah,
talking
answer.
to you, you
The
stop.
waitress is
Or
here. She's
look-
asking you what you want.
Look at them.
Acknowledgement.
Put
That's not
get
enough
your
for me.
Get your face out of your iPad or your phone. Look up. They're
Yes.
they're
I have the
asking
same
you a
problem.
question.
I have
Right.
the same problem when I talk to Bowie too. Like if like
But I
she's
feel like
on the iPad.
5-year-olds should be able to
Right.
order
Of
off
course.
of a menu.
Yes,
Of course.
definitely.
I asked Bowie to go to the bathroom. She has to go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom, and she'll be like staring at like the iPad while she walks down the hallway and running into walls. I'm like, put it down.
Yeah.
Right. So, Amanda, in your household, and we'll get to you, Joey, because you got 4, and I would love to hear how you're able to manage multiple devices in your household. But, Amanda, with Bowie right now, especially having a new baby, what is the stipulations? Like, do you, with American Pediatrics, like, do you have a designated 1 hour a day?
No,
or
I don't. I definitely
us.
fail that. But I use the iPad for 2 things. I use it for when we're out at lunch or dinner. And like as a last resort, I give her the backpack first, and I use it shamelessly. And then the only time that I get with Brian Monday through Friday is when he comes home from work. We do dinner, showers, and then we sit down and Brian and I watch whatever show that we're into, and I give Bowie the iPad. Well, you know, like we're all sitting together, we're all watching something, but
What time does Bowie go to bed?
Bowie's never had a bad time.
Okay, that's
that
Yeah.
goes
that's
back
where
to,
you failed.
That's a great question, because that goes
Because
back
it
to last.
should be
never
like,
had a
no,
good
it's
time.
time to go to bed. Mom
I
and Dad
know.
are gonna
Right.
watch a show. Yeah.
I know. That's something, last time we were talking about that, it's something that I need to get a handle on, especially with like the second kid. And the fact that she's in school. I'm going to have to get it handled before kindergarten.
That's when it happens.
I'm going to have to get it handled before kindergarten, because now she's scheduled for school, but she only goes a couple of days,
Right.
you know, so yeah. For sure. Because I have the same problem as like a couple of my other girlfriends, where like if they don't go to bed at a certain time, they're assholes in the morning.
Right.
And I don't have time for this because I'm not super punctual.
Especially
and I
when you
like
have to
sleep in.
leave the house at
Yeah.
like 7:30 in the
Yeah,
morning.
yeah.
Right. Well, Joey, let's go to you, because 4 kids, you got to have a handful of devices in your home. I want to know what you do, what your stipulations are. How do you manage?
Well, I don't have devices in my house because I've got 4 kids and 1 iPad.
What?
So you can imagine what goes down there. But
that is crazy. How do you
we
do
don't
that?
have we don't really have nice things. We've got
It's
outside.
harder to have it
We
when
have
you're outnumbered.
outside. We have skateboards.
That's
we
amazing,
have
of
bikes.
course.
Better.
My 15-year-old.
It's better, I prefer
My
it.
15-year-old is the one that actually owns the iPad.
Right.
So it's his iPad.
Okay.
I didn't buy it for him. He got it from grandma. So he does let Juliana's the only other one that really watches the iPad. But not really, not really.
I definitely don't think it's a necessity.
No, it's not. No, we do dinner. It's play outside, and then it's kind of bedtime. But
What about TV? What about movies?
I was going to say, so we don't have TV. We
Okay.
have Netflix. I mean, I shouldn't say that. We don't have cable. Netflix.
Right.
We watch series like Wonder Years, things like that. My kids do love YouTube. That's where
Okay.
they watch box forts. I have to really limit
Ooh,
their
box
stuff.
sports. What's
Yeah,
that?
they-
I've never heard
the
of that.
boys, they
What? I got 2 boys.
Oh,
Tell
yeah.
me about it.
yeah, just box forts is the main thing that we watch. How to build a fort out of.
That's so
I
cool.
would love
Yeah.
that.
So they love that stuff. But no, I'm really big on not having your face in an iPad.
That's how Juliet
Right.
and I grew up. We
Right.
we didn't
I never
have cable.
had it. You know what? I got my first computer. I was out of high school when my mother bought a computer for our household. So I didn't grow up that way.
Nor did we. We had like one computer, and it was like so old school, and it
It was
definitely
like
changed-
really old.
It was
yeah.
the black screen with the green writing.
Yeah, and it changed the dynamic
with,
of
like,
our
the
household.
blinking
But
little.
people ask me a lot, like, "Oh my
line.
gosh, well, how are your kids going to learn how to navigate through social media?"
This is where Juliet's opinion.
And I'm like, each one of my kids are in public school, and they have a computer at school.
Right.
They bring it home. My 11-year-old has a laptop.
Wow.
So
the
does
school provides,
yeah,
right?
that's
The
awesome.
school
Yeah.
provides. So they're learning at school. They have computer class. My kindergartner plays on an iPad in kindergarten.
Yeah.
So they get enough screen time, but kids don't know how to
agree.
communicate anymore.
I agree. I
They
think
don't have
that's falling
social
short,
skills
for sure.
anymore.
That's really
we didn't do play
Right.
dates and you went out on your bike and you found your best friend.
right.
Yeah.
You
That's
know?
really interesting you said that. I had no idea that even in kindergarten, schools were providing iPads.
Oh, yeah.
They have limited time outside playing just with the earth itself
Right.
in recess. So I would be concerned, how much screen time are the schools even allowing?
Well, they don't even do majority of it's not even pencil and paper anymore. High school is definitely not.
No.
Right.
Yep.
High school,
Yep, I've been
middle
told that
school,
too.
they do a little, but high school, there's no pencil paper. So he's, he's on a lab. He's learning. He does computer class. Like, I don't think I did him a injustice by
Right,
not
right.
providing everyone with an
agree.
iPad because I
agree.
want to go to
Yes.
dinner.
Right.
I think now it's like I teach my kids how to act at a restaurant.
Perfect.
But
Yep.
after being a waitress for so long and seeing these little assholes, I said,
That's
no way.
personal, definitely.
No way.
You know what? Another thing though is that you have 4. So I have like
And I can't
one.
afford them. So
I have no. Well, it's not just that though. Like I have 4 and a baby. So I feel like when you
You
give,
mean you have one and a baby?
oh yeah, sorry.
You do
I
not
have a
have
4-year-old.
4.
No, I have a 4-year-old. Is
Oh,
what I meant to say.
gotcha.
Yeah, so I have a 4-year-old and then I have a baby.
Where's
so
she
it's like-
hiding them?
So I would have to.
Do you feel like
I
you're
would
more
have
lenient?
to if I was going to control it. It would have to be now.
Yes.
And when like so my girls are not going to play together like
They
until maybe 1 until Waylon is about 1 years old. You know what I mean? And then after that point it's going to have to be I have to make a conscious effort to make it like the way Juliet and I grew up where all we had was each other. We didn't even like each other so to
No.
speak all the time,
Yeah.
but all we had was each other to play with.
And those cool
So-
trees where you can rip the bark off and make moccasins out of them.
Yeah.
Those are eucalyptus ones, right?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
So when
all
it's
my memories of growing up are with random neighborhood kids.
Yep.
We weren't allowed in other people's houses. I wasn't allowed to really have friends over because my mom was smoking cigarettes in the living room watching TV, you know?
Right.
I couldn't
she's
interrupt
all,
her.
I'm busy.
I can't interrupt her show. I'd get beat. I mean, like, and that's how I met. At 5 years old, I knocked riding my bike. I met my best friend. I'm 36.
Want to play?
Yeah, I'm 36, and we still talk every day.
That's amazing.
What if I had an iPad and
that.
didn't go out, you know?
Right.
So-
That's a really great point that I want to touch on is growing up. Amanda and I, and this will be for the next segment. We are going to go for a quick commercial break, but we are a movie family. Half of our vocabulary came from
Yeah, 'cause we didn't
quoting
have
movies.
TV.
So that will be
we
a
didn't
really
have
good thing to
cable.
quote
We didn't
on.
even have basic cable. We just
That's
played
where you
movies
learn
over
your
and
humor.
over.
That's
Oh,
what people
yeah.
use. That's where you learn real humor.
For real.
Right. All right, we're going to go to a
one-liners.
commercial break, and we'll be right back.
I love you girls saying that you really suffered because you only had basic cable. Those are the really struggling days. We only had basic cable.
The point is that, like, we don't need like anything. We really don't need anything.
I know. You know, I'm listening to Pioneer saying we didn't have water.
And then Deirdre's in the back. She's all, we had a well.
I know, right? That's
Exactly.
right. I know.
Well, now that we're talking about wells, just because Laughing Glass cocktails are a low calorie beverage. I like that, slow calorie. Doesn't mean they have to be low taste or low quality. Using the best all natural ingredients, super premium spirits, and nothing artificial. I repeat, nothing artificial. Laughing Glass cocktails brings friendship, good times, and a ton of laughing together, one bottle at a time. To find out more, just visit your local Whole Foods outlet or go Google them on the web at Laughing Glass Cocktails, plural, just like it sounds. LaughingGlassCocktails.com. Cheers. All right, back to the girls and their secret sharings here.
Awesome. Thank you again. Just want everybody to know the reason why I'm not downing this absolutely delicious cocktail right now is I think I have the flu, and this is you'll probably see
And I'm
Joey
sitting
like
next to her.
leaning over while I'm talking, and I feel like I fell out of a building or hit by I don't know what's happening to me. So, but
She's delusional.
it's been holding it together.
Well, she's still got her lipstick and eyeliner on.
Amanda's taught me well.
You have to. Sometimes you just got to pull together and pretend that you have it
So,
down.
so if you guys just tuned in, we are talking about screen time, me time, the reason why we have screens, the reason why we don't have screens, what's right, what's wrong, and who really cares. So we were talking
one.
about, I know, right? We were talking about how Amanda and I actually grew up. This is like so awesome and ghetto. So we moved a lot, and so every time we moved, we'd always get the
Funny, I don't remember
the free cable for 60 days. And so,
remember that.
oh my God,
Oh,
it's
that's
amazing.
why I keep switching.
Oh yeah. So every time we moved, because we literally moved every year.
I'll tell you how to do that.
Yeah. We would always sign up for the free cable for 60 days. My mom would go out and buy a ton of blank tapes, and we would record everything from the Disney Channel and Nickelodeon.
Oh, I remember
Michael
that.
Jackson music videos. That's how I learned how to dance, and it was amazing. And so
how
once
funny. I
that,
remember that.
30 or 60 days was up, it's like, all right, we got the new movies out, and I mean, they were just on repeat all the time. Like we had, I think, TV on all the time, but we weren't necessarily staring at the screen.
We weren't tuning into it the entire time. It was more as like background noise. And Brian and I think we copied Deirdre. She's in the background. My girlfriend's
Hey,
here.
dear.
They have music on more than anything, and so we stopped doing so much. We would do TV for background noise, but then having like a 4-year-old, she would tune in and out of it. So
That's true.
we just do music now.
And
So
I
we do
actually started
music
doing that. Yep.
Instead of putting movies, we do that, and then like we stay busier because we're not tuning in and out.
Right, that's very true.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
helps a lot. It helps
I just went on a Michael Jackson stint, and I was blaring Michael Jackson the other day. I'm like, why don't I listen to music more? I always have a movie on.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
just-
It changes
to
your
remind
mood.
yourself.
totally
Music,
does.
music helps you. It changes your mood, your soul. You're happier. I'll change it to whatever mood I'm in.
Exactly. And I had like the cutest scene, like flash forward to Ezekiel being a teenager. So instead of Ezekiel on an app, like on the phone, he needed like a break. He was having a full meltdown and he needed a break. So I was like, you know what? No app. But guess what? You're going to have music. So I put on his Spotify, Ezekiel's jams. And he literally like was hanging out in his bed with his iPod and just like jamming.
I
and
love that he has his
singing.
own iPad.
Well, it's all our old phones. All of our old phones.
Yeah.
So like it was like a 4S where like the screen you can't even like do anything now. It's hilarious. But he literally was. I was like, oh my gosh. He's like his legs are kicking and he's like, oh, I'm listening to my music. I'm like, oh, little
You know what,
teenager.
though?
It was so cute.
Another thing is, I would always kind of like spitball everything, like with Juliet, like because I had a kid first, and then she had it second, and then she had 2 before I was able to have another one. So I don't remember a lot, but I remember with like I really don't. Like I'll be like, when the fuck do I feed them like food? Like,
Oh, I know. I love that. I love when you ask us questions like that. I'm like, are you fucking serious?
I
make
don't
me laugh. I
remember
can't.
anything. I mean, I remember like what I want to do. I don't know. So, but I remember telling Juliet, how like just referring to like the iPad time and stuff like that. And so my sister and her husband does IT, and then she does social media. She builds people's websites.
You're on the
and-
computer.
Yeah,
on
so they're a
screen.
tech family, so they
All the time.
think less about it than. I mean, I don't think about it. I really don't until like a girlfriend is like
Right.
reminds me, and it doesn't hurt my feelings. It doesn't. Like Joey and Deirdre were all up, and then my sister Juliet, we were all up each other's buttholes about everything. We're
Right.
all in each other's business,
Right.
and so
Yeah,
like
I love to call you out on
I love it.
something.
No, I do. I love it because I know it's coming from like a good place. It's like family. So someone could be like, "That's your child's 7th fucking cupcake. Watch your kid." You know what I mean? Like it's like so stuff like that doesn't bother me at all. But it's like it helps.
Lay
when-
off me. I'm starving.
It
But I
helps.
just like Amanda because I know I could just discipline her kid.
Right.
Oh my
with
God! You
her
don't
standing
understand.
right there.
Yes.
You don't understand. It takes
Yes.
such a load off my shoulders if I know that
It's a
people
village,
have
right?
it. Yes.
Yep.
It is.
We only
It
surround
is.
ourselves with women that we all, I feel like, have the same standards of safety and fun for our kids.
Oh, a lot
It's
of my
very
girlfriends,
important.
I feel I won't say a lot, but like I do have quite a bit of girlfriends who I feel like can't relax when they're with me and hanging out because they're watching their kid, and I feel like if we all come to like a common ground where it's like I have it, like I got your, like I would treat your babies like my babies, like
Right.
I have it, like you have 6 of us, like our eyes
Right.
are counting every 45, whatever. Like I'm watching your kids. Period. That's the bottom
Yeah.
line. Is like so you guys can all fucking spank my kids. I don't give a shit. That's all.
I love
Anyways.
giving Bowie a back.
Well, I
Yeah.
know.
Oh, I love it.
Torturing her.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because
Well, going back on what you said, Amanda, okay, so I work from home. And so, especially with Ezekiel the first time around, like, he was at home.
try that, Joe.
And,
Joey's pretending like she doesn't drink. She's full
like,
of shit.
She's like, listen, I'm being responsible. So I would be on my laptop every hour that I can because I have huge clients that I work for and I got deadlines. And so I would play with Ezekiel for an hour and then I'd have to be on a screen for an hour.
Yeah.
And then Ezekiel would have to go play in one of his stations I would set up by himself. So with that, he's very good at playing by himself. But then there
That's
came
important.
that is very important. But then there came to a time where he started noticing me on the screen and he would start to pull on
Bowie
it.
too.
And I'd be like, this is starting to kill me. Like, he cannot
Yep.
see me. And
Yep,
this
yep,
is
yep,
when
yep,
I
yep.
was like, you know, I'm
Me
getting an
too.
office. I can't.
Yeah.
I had to.
I don't have a job, but me too. Say-
So I got,
Well, that's embarrassing. I probably should have thought about that
Right.
before I chimed in.
So, well, so I got to this point where I'm like, you know what? I need to either find sitters. He started going to preschool, and I started doing work outside of the home. So when I came home, it's time to be home. We do work at night now when the kids go to bed. If we didn't get stuff done
All
in
about
the
that
daytime,
balance, man.
it is hard though because
Impossible balance.
when your
Yeah.
phone is beeping up a storm and your kids, you're in the middle of playing and you have a deadline. It's a real,
I
it's
know.
really
I
tough
just
for me.
know it.
So, but like you said, it's all about that balance and.
So you're
and-
chasing the
Yeah.
you're chasing a unicorn. It's impossible.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, you know.
So, let's have a drink real quick. I'm
Well,
sweating.
cheers.
I feel like I have my fever is just like peaked as well. So this is awesome.
Joey
Probably
is
exactly what-
scooting
I know.
further and
She's
further away
freaked
from you
out.
as you.
Joey, I'm so sorry. Here, I'll try to like be back here.
Oh, I
One
don't-
thing I
these are
wanted
so
to chime in on is so Ezekiel has no problem with any screens. I could take it away. There's not a lot of like flailing or crying or
posture,
whatever.
dear.
He's very good at, going to the next activity. Now Malachi. Well, he's in that range of under 18 months, and he's not supposed to have a phone. Well, I know why now, even though Ezekiel never did this.
Ooh,
the
I
moment I give him the phone, and he's like, oh,
Well, you
what's
gave
this?
him the phone. That's your
Right,
problem.
exactly. Okay, so I gave him the phone to do Peekaboo
Waylon reaches
Barn.
for the phone too.
Yeah.
Peekaboo
Waylon
Barn
reaches.
is incredible. He can
Yeah.
do cause and effect, and he's actually mimicking sounds
So
now.
how is Malachi? Remind everyone. A
So
year.
Malachi has just turned a year. He's navigating through Peekaboo Barn like a champ. But the moment that the
Peekaboo
game
Barn.
is done,
Oh, it's
it's
adorable.
literally it's less than 5 minutes. I love that game. Less than 5 minutes. The moment that game is done, I take the phone away. Full blown meltdown like I've never seen. Malachi does not cry. He doesn't whine. He is the coolest, fattest baby that just kind of hangs out. But the phone triggers him. So guess what? No more. He
Yeah.
doesn't get it anymore.
That's another point.
A
Is
different
that you
rule.
gotta? I mean, I feel like with like each of our topics, like the takeaway usually is you know your kid. Every kid's
Well, yeah,
different.
I have
you know?
an 11-year-old who's begging me for a phone, and he wants social media because he's
Okay.
in middle school now.
huh.
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
And
really
So that
tough
may not
spot.
be
He's too
that's not your rule for everybody, but
No,
you know your
he's-
kid and you're
he's
saying no
not-
to him.
He's not. He'll probably make some political post that he knows nothing about. Like
Right.
something
Right.
stupid.
So let me ask you: do you just say no, or
yeah,
do you
I
actually
say absolutely
have?
no.
Okay.
My no means no.
Okay.
They know it.
And he doesn't ask why, or
Yeah. And
Okay.
I said, yeah. He's like, well, why? Every single one of my friends has one. He does walk home from school. What if I need to get? He tries to pull that card.
Right.
He's
You know,
smart.
you can give him a phone without the Wi-Fi.
I know.
So well, I
Um,
want to hear, like, how do you? This will
but
be a really
it-
great tip for parents who are dealing with kids who are battling now.
Well, no, he's
with
just
this.
not mature enough. And
Okay.
I just explained to him it doesn't go away. Social media, anything you
Yeah.
post on social media, he wants it more for social media, not
Right.
for.
And social
Stop
media is
posting
really
your
scary
11-year-old dick
nowadays.
online. God.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he already got in
Just kidding.
trouble at school for talking about his banana being big.
Okay. Well,
So, I can
jeez
only
Louise.
imagine
That's like
What he would
that's like
put on
so
social
innocent.
media.
Like
Right?
that's like him trying to be like cool,
Cool.
but it's like all cute and soft.
I'm like,
Bless
not
your
there
heart.
yet, buddy. Not yet. Not there. So I get a phone call about his banana being big.
Oh my God.
And so that's when
That is
that was
fucking
easy
funny.
to say. No,
Right. You
Okay,
obviously
so
you're not mature
showed.
enough.
So
Yeah.
why not? So I'm just curious because Brian and I have this like hypothetical
like, a flip
conversation
phone?
all the
You
time.
still have
Like
those.
yeah, like because I don't want. I just see all those like terrible, sad videos of like, kids texting and driving, and then they're like
Yeah.
paralyzed for the rest of their life, and I'm like, no kids, no phones for my kids, dude, no
Yeah.
fucking phones. Like this is crazy.
no, those are scary.
So why when they're teenagers, what I'm saying. Meanwhile, my kid's like fucking 4, and I'm like, yeah, man, have
Who knows
at it.
what they'll have?
Right.
But yeah, okay. So why not give him a phone for emergencies?
Well, do they have flip phones, or do they have
I
phones
just
that are
haven't
not?
even. There is. He
smartphones?
had a prepaid phone from Walmart. It was
Okay.
$40.
Okay.
He lost it.
Okay,
Oh.
there you go. Done and done.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
I think
yeah.
it was
Case-
a Christmas gift
Yeah,
or
the
something.
case.
I think
Yeah.
it was-
How's that?
yeah, he's no.
There
It's
you
he's
go.
just
No,
not
that
ready.
makes
There you
perfect
go.
sense.
So-
No, you know what?
Because I'm just curious.
He goes out. He's got his bike. He put it in his pocket a couple times. I called him. He never answered the goddamn phone.
And if he
I
was
like,
in a
what
real
this
right.
is bullshit.
And
I'm
if he
not,
was in a
you
real
know.
emergency, his friends all have phones.
Oh yeah, and
Okay.
there has been.
Oh, that's a good
that's true.
point.
There has
Yeah.
been a couple emergencies where my husband had, where he did call from a friend's phone because they had hopped a fence. The friend fell, broke his leg.
Oh no.
Oh no.
bigger kid.
Jeez.
We just couldn't hack it to get him back over the fence.
He's all, listen, I'm going to leave you here to die, but I will call someone.
I will call someone. And so
Meanwhile,
in those
the dog's
cases,
coming. Sandlot's happening. What?
in those cases, maybe it would have been a good idea, but we figured it out.
No, but that's a really good point. If his argument is that everybody has phones, then you don't fucking need one.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and especially you don't need a social media.
Right, and I
No,
think
I get
that's
it.
great.
For sure.
It's like, okay, fine, for emergencies, here's your prepaid phone. He loses it. Game over.
Yeah, no,
Done.
that's a really good point.
I think that's a really
No.
great tip for
But I have
parents
a
to have that
15-year-old
question.
who is extremely
Responsible, and
responsible.
he gets a phone.
Good. He's a good kid. He does have social media. I'm his friend. I have to follow him.
Yep.
Everything he
I
posts
love
come
that.
to me.
Yes.
I do just
he
because I'm
doesn't
nosy as
post.
shit, and they're my
Probably
kids. I
because
feel like
I'm his
entitled.
friend.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, people just want to creep on other people. So
Yeah,
there's some people
yeah,
who don't. I don't post at all on
He's
my social.
He's got to be
except for Instagram. I love Instagram, but
yeah.
I don't do Facebook.
Yeah, but
or
that's
Twitter.
your job too. Like you're all
It's
about
true.
like advertisement, and you handle people's social media. So
You
it's
just
different.
bombard
But the things that
everybody.
Juliana watches, I'm like.
Does she watch
this-
Blippi?
No,
Can I
none
give
of
a
your
shout
stuff
out to Blippi? Is my favorite. Oh, it's the best YouTube
Oh, speaking
video.
of shout outs,
Yeah.
it's April's birthday. Happy birthday, April. I know that you're
Oh, that's
listening
right.
from Brooke Williams.
Spa. She's getting
And
all
you
dolled-
play date soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of
So
having
YouTube videos.
Yes, Joey. We talked about this before. So my kid, Joey's kid is a year older than mine, right?
Yeah.
And they're buds, and Bowie loves her to death. And all they talk about is the miraculous butterfly. Wait, ladybug. The miraculous ladybug.
They can say it word for word.
They're
which
into
is
the
really
same
my
shit. It's
gosh.
hilarious. Anyway, we were talking about the fact that I think the phase, I don't even know if the phase is over, but like our girls were super fucking into those stupid YouTube videos
Where
of
adults dress
adults
up.
opening up toys or like, yeah. Dude, I never even talked to you about this. It's crazy. So there's adult hands. The camera's only on the adult hands,
it
and they're
Cookie Roll C?
opening up that one with a stupid voice
Yeah.
where she kind of puts it on forward a little bit and it
Uh-huh.
goes all fast.
Uh-huh.
So they open up toys, and then this bitch fucking plays with the toys, and she's like, "Oh my god, you're killing me, you're
It
the best friend, you're the
brainwashes
best
them.
friend."
I don't know
Okay.
what it does to them, but they love it.
So yeah, so Bowie got crazy. She was like, "Oh, too bad we don't have that.
Oh,
Too bad
yeah.
we don't have that toy. We should buy that
Uh-oh,
toy." And I was like, "This is
yeah.
gross." So I had to delete YouTube. And that was like one of the first things that made me think like this is sick. Like one time so I had like the kids YouTube where they're supposed to censor, different things, but even so like the shit still, and our brother Tim, our oldest brother Tim, his kids watch, that stuff too, and he'd be like, sometimes I still have to like watch what they're watching even though it's kids, because it's weird, because there's like weird like dads.
Well, it's like the dads
tags,
dress up
yeah.
in Spider-Man costumes, and then there's adults in the
Yeah.
Elsa
Yeah,
and
but
Anna
even the
costumes,
dads
and
are
they're
like
giving
awkward,
birth,
like it's
with
weird.
Spider-Man's
Yeah,
baby.
it's weird.
Holy
And I'm like,
crap.
Juliana,
Yeah.
probably not.
And then so same with what you were saying with Malachi. Like when I would tell her take away the YouTube, I'd be like, "It's time for you to chill the fuck out." Like she would flip out. So I
Right.
deleted YouTube off
Yeah.
everyone's phones, and so she doesn't get to watch that stuff anymore.
Yeah, no.
So
there's
that
only
goes
a
back
couple.
to knowing your
we
kid.
do
you know?
watch,
Right,
My
definitely.
kids do watch Evan's World or Evan HD. Do you guys ever?
Oh, never
No,
heard of
what's
that.
that?
What is it?
Oh, they just go on family vacations. My kids love to pretend they're on
That's kind
someone else's.
of. I
I'm
want to
like,
watch. Give
I
me
was
that
like,
link.
Do we have to seriously watch?
Evan's World. Look up Evan's
Evan's
World on YouTube.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
like, do we really have to watch other people go on vacations? Like, how depressing is this?
Well, like
Let's
us
turn it
watching love
off.
stories on movies or something.
Well, that's
or,
how I
don't
feel about
know.
watching The Housewives. I'm a big fucking fan of trash
Oh,
TV.
well, I
Bravo
just-
TV is my jam.
You just love to watch with
But I watch
people
them
with money.
I
Well,
know.
you know what? What I like, I think more, the reason why I like that bullshit is because I like watching people fight. Like, I like the drama. And I've been watching it for years, even when Brian and I were just friends.
can't even
And so
handle it.
Brian
Oh my
knows
God.
all, like, the characters. And so he'll be like,
What's Joanne doing?
I'm not
today?
fucking around, dude. He does. He swears
Oh
that
my God.
I'm, like, gross. He's like, you are gross in your choice of TV. But he'll, like, come passing and he'd be like, what the fuck did Vicky just say? Like, you know, and I'm like,
hey,
don't pretend like you're not
Vicky,
interested, you
I
know?
am Team Vicky all the way. I love her.
Oh my God.
Never missed an
That
episode.
makes sense to me, but she's gross.
Okay, we
No.
have
Oh,
Paul.
please.
Paul wants to just jump in real
Somebody
quick.
tweeted and wanted to know, you're all talking about things not to watch. Any lists, or you just gave one. Any other ones to watch?
To watch, yes, definitely. Thank you for that.
You talked about the negative things. What's some of the good things?
No, definitely. So we have what's the name of that show again?
Oh, Evan Tube.
Evan Tube. And
You like
then,
it?
Oh yeah, it's really
Oh,
good.
okay, good.
Love it. For us right now, Blippy and the Ploop channel for boys. That's all about trucks and tractors and cars, and it's real life. And then he goes on all these fun excursions. He's like, wow,
My
it's a
grandson
trash
loves
truck.
Blippy. I
It's-
can sing all
Write
the
that
Blippy
down.
songs.
I love.
Oh, you already
Blippy.
watch it, yeah.
And then what about for you? Amanda?
We don't. I got rid of YouTube, so I can't recommend anything on YouTube. But as far as like apps go, I mean, it's not educational, but I'm a big fan. I'll buy anything that's
Yes.
Sego Mini.
Saga Mini.
Is it I think it's Sego.
Sago? I don't know.
Wait, I think I'm not
Saga
sure.
or
Don't
Sago?
quote me, but
I don't
when
know.
you play,
I can't read. So
but
it
we
doesn't
watches
matter.
those videos where they
Oh my
repeat
gosh.
the name, and I
We
think
buy-
it's
yeah,
Sego.
Sego
So
Mini, okay.
anything that Sego Mini makes, like look it up on your iTunes.
They
it's
have-
adorable.
so they-
and
they
it's
just-
easy.
right.
Anyone can manipulate. Like.
And they consolidated
Navigate
all
it.
of the apps now into Sago World.
Oh yes, I
Yeah.
have that,
And
but
it's
it's like a prescription. They're like they got
Subscription. Yeah.
I'm a
got you
prescription. I'm
fancy.
like it's like Xanax. So
So, and we even take
Ask
it
your doctor.
off the
Hit 'em
screen,
up.
and their toys are incredible. It's all about imagination. It teaches you like interaction and stuff. So I
and all their
absolutely
toys
love it.
fold up into a little purse, and that's my jam because I take those
Right.
things to restaurants, and I keep stuff like that in my car so it stays cool. So I
Yep.
don't let them play with it all the time. Otherwise, they lose interest in it or
Right.
whatever. But yeah.
Have anybody used the learning apps, the ABC Mouse
Yes.
kind of stuff? and
Yes.
everything?
Yes,
ABC
I
learning
would
app.
recommend
That
that
at school.
Yeah.
Yes, I would recommend that. I'm all
We-
Juliet.
we have the subscription.
That's a
Bowie has it.
prescription. Yeah.
That's a prescription of Xanax. I mean, that's a subscription, not a prescription.
It's a prescription, right? Not a-
It's a subscription that we actually
Bowie has
have on
ABC
Apple
Mouse,
TV.
but it's
Yeah.
all shit she already knows because of whatever. And back to what Joey was saying though, like you're right, like she learned all this stuff right away, and she already did TK. She did TK last year, but she didn't make the cut for kindergarten, so she has to repeat TK, and she's already
There-
kindergarten ready.
Yeah.
She's already,
Right.
you know.
I've noticed that with my older kids. I mean,
Right.
people
What are you gonna
push
do with it?
Yeah, they push it so much so early. It's like
It's true.
to kind of just focus on
I think
imagination and
It all
and-
evens out
Right.
somewhere.
And so with Ezekiel, he's in. Before Malachi was born, he was in full-time preschool, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. So when he came home and wanted to watch like his favorite like Cars or something, heck yeah, have a snack, take an hour and decompress, because that was a day of work where he was like covered in mud head to toe, doing all kinds of like story time and interacting with friends. And so I was definitely watch a movie
It's
and
like a wind down.
right. And so then
I feel like movies. Oh, you know what? Never mind. Movies still count as screen time. Huh?
definitely yes, because there's some
I'm
movies
all-
where
I'm like
Well-
I love fucking running Disney
well,
movies
Amanda,
on my
there's like
TV. I think it's
crazy
cute.
times where Ezekiel will. The movie gets intense, like Big Hero 6, and they're like explosions, and he
movies.
starts
I
like
do
running
that. I
around
don't
and
feel bad
gets
about
and
that.
starts like hitting, and so I have to be like, there's certain movies that
That
you aren't
trigger you.
ready because he's, But to go back to the other app, right before bedtime, we do Nighty Night Circus.
What's
and,
that?
Oh, it's so awesome! You get to put all the animals to sleep.
Oh,
So,
cute. Oh, is that
um,
like Peekaboo Barn type thing? Or no?
Yes, exactly.
Same
and
brand?
the artwork is gorgeous. You
Is
can
it the
actually
same brand?
No, it's just they have these two apps.
Oh,
so Nighty
interesting.
Night Circus and Nighty Night Farm.
My kids are definitely missing out. We put our stuffed animals to bed, and yeah,
That's awesome.
Oh,
Well, but
Bowie still does
no,
that.
but we do
She still
all
does
of it.
that.
So from bath time, it goes from bath time to Nighty Night Circus. Then he reads a book, and then he says Once Upon a Time.
But that's
so
from
I
a
have
tech
to,
family, though.
So
Like,
I have
everyone
to
has their
then.
thing,
Yeah.
you know?
So we
Yeah.
do all three of them. So then I tell him a magical story, and he falls asleep to my ridiculous stories that makes no sense.
I could
So-
honestly give Bowie every single one of these family dynamics, and she would still remind me that she misses the time when it was just her and I. Like it's never good enough for that little
yeah,
girl.
it'll get better.
I believe that,
It will.
Yeah.
but I'm just saying it. I don't think it matters my routine right now. She fucking wants
It hasn't.
everything.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Paul.
Now you're all talking about screens, but I heard the B word in there. A book. Do you actually
book?
read a
Heck
book?
yes.
I've always read
Oh,
Bowie
always,
books.
yes. Books,
I've always read her books.
books
My daughter
are
does too,
super
and I'm
important.
surprised because I thought books were dead, and it's all
I have so
online.
many books. I
Spend
started giving
so
them
much
away for
money.
free.
Yes.
But I
Because
read a lot.
They are
yeah,
online.
so-
Literally, the libraries, you can get books for like 10 cents and stuff
And
because
so
they're dumping the physical
right, and I will
books.
tell you, I
have
have a
so many
Kindle,
books.
and I download books for the entire family, Ezekiel included, because when we do go on trips, I'm not going to bring a case of books. Those things are freaking heavy.
I
so-
don't have room for them. That's why I
No.
started giving away
But
to the free
yes,
tree in front
he
of my house.
has a little cabinet full of our favorite books. People still gift books. It's probably one of the best gifts you could receive when
Right.
it's somebody's favorite.
And
And
Bowie
it's
loves
great
them
childhood
because she feels
memories.
like she's reading because
Right.
she hasn't memorized.
But I
really.
read a lot, so I think my kids see me reading.
Right.
And
That's
I read a
good-
book.
Yeah.
I do like the smell of the book. I like
Yes,
the pages.
and the control.
And
I think the kids love the control
I
of
get emotional.
opening.
I cry when I'm reading.
Yeah.
I love sad books. Horrible.
Oh, I love it.
I know. But my kids see me reading, so I think that's good.
That's
Yeah,
very
it's
Because
important.
interesting.
they read.
Right.
My son, my 11-year-old, he reads a lot
Right.
too.
Well, it's refreshing to me as a grandpa because I feared that when the pads came, the books will disappear.
No,
and the people
definitely
will
not.
stop
I
physically reading,
feel-
holding, touching a book, looking
Right.
at a book. And I'm shocked to hear you say that, and I was shocked to see my daughter, who's 25, and her 3-year-old continue because she never read.
Right.
I couldn't get her to read a book, but now she's reading books every night to where my grandson will ask for a book when he stays with us.
No, that's awesome. And that's
Yeah.
why I think it comes back down to what's right for your family. I think the American Pediatrics are right in saying, yes,
I
screen
think it's
time,
a good
whatever it
guideline.
is, it's
I
a
think
great guideline.
I think we need that. We need to remind ourselves.
Tell
we need
them
to
the
refer
story
back
about the
to it.
glasses.
Oh,
about-
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So, okay. So Bowie has had glasses since she was 2 years old, and actually, my girlfriend's in the background. Deirdre, her husband, was watching her one time and had hit us up, and he said, you know, she watches TV from the side of her eye, and I looked it up, and I think you should take her in, and so we took her in to a regular eye doctor, and they'd recommended her to a specialist. We couldn't get into the specialist for a long time. I mentioned it to my pediatrician, who is a godsend. She's like family to me, and
She buys her Christmas presents.
She
She's amazing.
bit my head off. She was like, "Why didn't you tell me right away?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I figured it was eyes and not your thing." And she was like, "I need to know everything that happens with this kid." So she got me in the next day.
Awesome.
So with the specialist had said it's basically like a weak. The optic nerve is weak, so it's, you know, technically a lazy eye. You know, they need to strengthen it or whatever. And Brian's uncle is a ophthalmologist, and he had said, you know, it's very, very, very common for kids to have glasses more than ever, because the way that he described it to me, and forgive me if I'm butchering it, the way that he had said was your nearsighted is
when you can't see far, right? Is that
Yeah.
correct?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So your vision from far away develops before your close-up vision. And because you're introducing the screens too early, their eyesight is developing backwards. And because like iPads and phones are more popular now than ever,
Right.
that kids' eyesights are developing properly, and that's why kids are wearing glasses now more than ever.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
the first person that is. Yeah.
That said that. Okay,
That
good.
said
So I'm
that.
not butchering it
No,
completely.
no.
So I think a little bit is hereditary, but I would not be surprised the least bit if I did my
Right.
child a disservice. I would not be surprised at all.
Oh.
Can I ask
She
you one-
looks real cute.
Can I
in
ask you one other
glasses,
hard
though.
question
Yeah,
here? I
yeah.
can't help it as I'm listening to this. So you're all talking about the first generation to ever grow up with iPads and iPhones.
Yes.
You didn't really.
Right.
I certainly didn't. What do you think that'll do to these kids? You talk about it's impacting their social skills because they're looking at the
I
thing
think
more
that's
than
the
that.
main. But I see this.
Good
is
or bad? I mean, what
This
do
is
you,
another thing.
Yeah.
I feel like we took our family. We all went to SeaWorld. I mean, there's fucking Shamu doing a backflip and doing all. My kids were not wowed. that was not really.
They saw
They'd
it
see-
on YouTube or
Yeah.
something.
They've seen so many cool things on YouTube. Cooler,
Oh,
you know.
that breaks my heart.
and,
That
and they didn't realize they weren't wowed, but I kind of thought like,
Girl,
Dude.
do you know how expensive this shit
and,
was?
and like this is a real, you know, say we won't go to SeaWorld anymore, but the real live huge orca in front
Right.
of, like literally you're right in front of, and
Yeah.
it's not really that impressed.
Oh no! I would
desensitized.
that would kill
that's
me.
That's a huge
that
issue.
Would, I would be
Never heard that,
pissed,
yeah.
and I would have no
Yeah.
one to blame but myself for letting
Yeah.
them see cool
Can I
shit.
tell you the reason? What I see? I went to a concert just the other day over at the Pacific Amphitheater, and I hadn't been to a concert in years. Stand there. Everybody has their phone up. They're more
Of
of
course.
a journalist than
Of
they
course.
are. in the moment,
And
or they're
that's
watching the
actually-
big screen
Exactly.
TV
Right.
more than they're watching the
And
person
that's
50
interesting
feet
you
in front
actually
of them.
brought that up because
Yeah.
my girlfriend Crystal and I just went to Lana Del Rey, and I told her, I'm like, no phones.
Hmm.
Everybody else is on their phone. Watch Lana. Do not record Lana. Live the moment. It was
Live the
actually
moment.
very,
Yeah.
and she took like 2 or 3 pictures because she was like, oh, Juliet, she's going to get me. And I'm like, no, but seriously, I go to a lot of concerts and people are missing it.
Missing it.
Enjoy your drink. Watch. Don't record. And yeah, we had the best time ever while everybody else, their hands were up in the air just recording. It was ridiculous. So I think it just comes down to
But we
how
won't know what will happen.
right.
Now on the positive
With the
side, these
kids,
kids are learning more than we could have ever imagined. They have a library in
True.
front of them
Yeah, I think
24 hours.
there's a lot of give and
Well,
take.
they don't have to research. All they have to do is use Siri and Google.
Yeah.
Right. They don't have to go to the library and go through
You know,
the
it's so
little-
funny. Remember when we were in school and how, like, everyone, you know, the teachers would be like, no calculators, you're not going to have a calculator with you for the rest of your life. And we have, like,
yes, we do. Suck us. No.
They don't
totally.
even have a rule where it's like no cell phones allowed in school. Like,
No. Yeah. It's.
and like now it's like a requirement, like
Right.
calculator. Like,
Oh, and you know how much the calculator is in high school? Ours is like, it was over $200, like $230.
up.
Oh, they have to make
Yeah.
up for all the people not buying them anymore.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
pretty
God.
crazy.
That
They're
is
they're
ridiculous.
intense.
So
That's
as we wrap up, I
hilarious.
got one to look into the future. So we talked about the differences and what this is doing. What about when we really get virtual reality? When your little kids don't want a phone, they want to strap a device around their head and you
That's
and
already there.
go into
Yeah.
right. Put that Oculus Rift on, and you totally lose them. They are really
No, not in
immersed
my
in another
household.
Oh,
world.
I wouldn't
There's-
give it to him. Oh, I want to ask
There's
Joey about video
stipulations, yeah.
games.
Yeah, go ahead.
Video
Because your
games,
boy,
yeah.
because Joey has 3 boys and they were
Oh,
really
yeah.
into video games. So
Mm-hmm.
what happened?
Oh, they fought, and Dad ripped it out of the wall.
There you go.
So
Dad didn't only rip out video games, he took away their TVs.
He took away
No one has
TVs,
TVs in
yeah.
their room anymore.
Yeah, fighting video games is too much. They're so violent.
Right.
My boys are very they are rough. No, they were fighting over it. They were getting mad when they lost. I was hearing it was too much.
Right.
So yeah, Dad ripped that out.
And Dad works a lot, so most of the time it's Joey, and Joey had to
yeah,
be like,
no, but he's good. He's good. Like when they would complain about.
"Oh
they
no,
complain about a toy.
Mario's very hands-on, but you need to make your life as easy as possible."
No, but
so
he's
the
good
second
with
they
that
start
stuff.
fighting,
He's
Yeah.
good with that stuff. Ripped out of the wall, dramatic scene. You know, fighting
I
over
love him.
Nerf guns or anything. No, shit goes in the trash.
Right.
Trash
Yep.
man has picked it up.
Yep.
My kids now have Legos,
Perfect.
See?
skateboards.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I think that's.
I love that.
I think that's great, and I think it all just comes down to what works right for your family. We were raised by the most magical preschool teacher in the world,
I know,
so
I hear stories all the time.
raining and a mud puddle happens, go in it. My mom would be like, go in it. You know, find whatever you can, explore the earth, climb a tree, do whatever you can. And so
Did I
we
tell you,
still
Joe?
have that, and and how we raise our kids.
But
even
I do
though-
need that reminder,
yeah.
though. Joe, did I tell you about how, like, my mom asked Brian? So Joey and my girlfriend Deirdre's in the background. Joey, Deirdre, and Brian all grew up together in high school together. And my mom asked Brian what his favorite toy was growing up, and he said a shovel, and that woman fucking, like, almost passed out.
It's the best thing
She loves him so
ever.
much because they didn't have,
Yeah.
like all
Well, we're
like
from the IE,
Uh-huh.
and shovel was probably
Menifee?
Shovel was probably a good one.
Yep.
Mario played with snakes, catching snakes. all the time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So let me ask you one more. We did a show on this a while ago on another on the station here. Bikes. Bike sales have dropped over the last 20 years dramatically.
Oh, no.
People don't want to
I
give
love
their kid a
bikes.
bike because a bike means freedom, one, and it means scary. You're out of their sight. They're going to get abducted. They're going to get kidnapped. They're going to get
I think
beat
it all
up and
depends
all
on
this
where
kind
you
of stuff.
live. I'm going to say that
I just wanna put a
Ezekiel
low
has.
jack on my kid.
Yeah, Ezekiel has a bike, and
It's the Halloween problem. You
yeah.
can't just let kids out anywhere to Halloween. You got to walk
yeah.
with them. You check
just
they
think
can't. You're
where you
scared to
live.
let them out of your sight.
No, I
so.
think
Of
it's
course, I
where-
am.
Yeah, where
I
you
lost
live.
Bowie. It's fucking
and-
Soak City.
Oh my god, I know.
I left
Yeah.
my kid at a pumpkin patch once and
Damn
drove
it.
on the freeway. Yeah.
Oh my
Jesus.
God.
Which one?
Oh.
Cash.
Youngest or Cash
No,
is pretty
middle.
tough.
Middle. He was at the time, but he was smart enough to go to the counter and say, "My mom just drove away."
Oh,
my
God! And they're like,
And
all it's up
after
to
they
you.
called the police.
And
Oh
you know
my
what?
God!
You know what? And then I didn't realize because he's the talker. He's my bad. He's the bad one. And I said, God, what? Did he fall asleep? And he's like, oh, my other kids were. He's not in the car.
Oh my
Mom."
god.
Oh my God! It's like a Home Alone.
Yeah, I had
Oh
to
my
drive.
That's like
gosh,
Home
that's
Alone.
awesome.
Yeah, so it happens.
Yep.
It does happen. You do lose your kid.
But we followed the older ones off into the Lees River, and I lost her for a while, and I had big plans to beat the shit out of her. When I found her, I was looking for her like just like super frantically, and by the time I found her, I just cried on her. I cried like my eyes out in front of everybody. It was just the worst day of my life.
Well,
but I had a good day.
Yeah. So it sounds like life just happens, screen or no screens. We still have some of the same memories that we have growing up. I just think it's, it's our call. It's our
It is
call.
your call.
And
your kid, your call.
As parents, lead by example. And for me, I need to recognize how much time I am on the screen, so that my boys don't think it's like a normal thing all the time because of my work. So
I
that's
notice that the more time I'm on my phone, the more Bowie acts out.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I see
And
that.
Bowie,
Like when I make a phone call to talk.
Yep.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they're
so
like, I'm here.
And
Yeah.
I'm never home, but when I do have those days when I'm home, it's the worst day ever.
Yeah.
Anytime I have my phone in my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just go out and play.
The more
Parents
one-on-one
need to play
attention I
too.
give her, then
Yeah.
the less issue
There
it
it is. Cheers, everybody. Good talk. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask us on Instagram or Facebook, and we'll try to answer them after the show.
How do they find you? That's the big question.
We are Vodka and Juice Boxes, all spelt out, on Instagram and Facebook. Our website, sorry, Amanda doesn't pay me, so it's still on the back burner. I have other very important clients. So Vodka and Juice Boxes, all spelt out on Instagram and Facebook.
All right.